Once the capital market was open for IPOs with free pricing of issues, flight-by-night operators have been swindling gullible investors. Additionally, there were promoters who, after collecting funds, did not run their companies efficiently. A strong requirement was felt in the capital markets and investor community for a law which will shunt fraudulent and inefficient promoters out, so that the companies could be run honestly as well as efficiently, and to safeguard interest of minority shareholders as well as funding institutions, including banks. The law named IBC, or Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, was enacted and came into effect from 1 December 2016. But to the horror of investors, this law has become a tool of defrauding the investors, as well as financial institutions, including banks. Now the attention of the viewers is drawn towards the open loot being carried out institutionally by taking shelter under IBC. As a case study, we take the case of Jaiprakash Infratech Limited, hereinafter referred to as JPI. When IDBI Bank dragged JPI under IBC, it was facing little bit problem of liquidity, but was fully solvent. Here, it needs to be highlighted that companies' outstanding loans were fully secured by assets which were non-depreciable in nature, that is, land banks of thousands of acres, Yamuna Expressway, and other assets. The glaring fraudulent manner in which the company's assets have been usurped by the new promoters in connivance with lenders is unparalleled, where minority shareholders have been defrauded and their hard-earned investment has been stripped away using IBC as a tool. The moot question here is, as per RBI banking guidelines, every lender has to get the assets of the borrower revalued every 3 years. JPI was dragged under IBC in the year 2017, and it's in public domain that lenders valued the company's assets for more than 25,000 crore rupees. What remains unanswered is how many times the company's assets have been revalued from 2017 to 2024. If they in fact have been revalued, what was the value of assets as per those valuation reports? One may raise the question, why people like us remained invested where, as we had all the option of exit at the stock market. People like us remained invested since we trusted our judicial system, and that loans taken by the company were multi-times fully secured by non-depreciable assets like land banks. On what basis amount payable to minority shareholders has been decided has not been communicated to them. The non-depreciable assets which were sufficient to cover lenders' total exposure in 2017, how could they were insufficient to cover outstanding loans in 2024, when in whole of NCR, rates of property have skyrocketed after the coming up of Jawar Airport near land banks of JPY. New promoters of the company, along with the lenders to the company, have defrauded the minority shareholders under the garb of IBC. My family has received a paltry sum of 288 rupees and 80 paise against an investment of more than 30 lakhs rupees. IBC was meant to protect the public investment from inefficient promoters or willful defaulter promoters, and not to defraud minority shareholders who don't have much say in the affairs of the company. The property of the company has been swindled in full broad daylight. On what basis minority shareholders have been paid off is a mystery till date. Present-day IBC, not sufficient to take care of the needs of the capital and financial sector. Indian capital and financial sector was asking for a law which was capable enough to wean out fraudulent as well as inefficient promoters, but it was never expected that such a kind of IBC will be brought, which will be helpful in fraudulently stripping wealth of general public, that is, minority shareholders as well as public sector banks. Earlier, banks used to nurse companies with little liquidity problems, but now solvent companies are being dragged under IBC to defraud the wealth of minority shareholders and public sector banks. Case of JPY is live example of that. There is a strong need to revamp the present IBC. Partiality amongst borrowers by Government of India as well as financial institutions on Satyam Computers Limited. Company like Satyam Computers was brought back from the jaws of death without any kind of new law, which means it is the integrity with which existing laws are implemented. 2. Vodafone Idea Limited. If Government of India would not have supported the company by giving moratorium for paying up its dues, and further by converting the company's liabilities to equity capital, it would have been liquidated multiple times on various occasions over the years. 3. What is intriguing and mind-boggling is the partial behavior of the Government of India and financial institutions which did everything on the planet to bail out Satyam Computers and are still going out of the way to accommodate Vodafone Idea to keep it afloat. Even group company Jaiprakash Power Ventures Limited, Jaypee, was accommodated by IDBI Bank by part converting loans to equity to make its debt manageable. Jaypee is now a healthy company and contributing to the state exchequer too. Why the loans of Jaypee could not be converted to equity to save it from fraud in the name of bankruptcy? Action required by Government of India's premier investigating agencies and relief sought from Government of India. Since minority shareholders do not have the wherewithal to approach the judicial system on their own, a forensic audit as well as thorough investigation by the central investigating agencies like Serious Fraud Investigation Office is required to dig out the process through which Jaypee has been usurped and guilty ought to be punished. Further, assets of Jaypee must be got revalued and shareholding of erstwhile minority shareholders be restored. A cue should be taken from the case of Satyam Computers. An independent board of directors be reconstituted and company be run under the aegis of Ministry of Corporate Affairs as a going concern till new worthy promoters are entrusted the reins of the company. Present-day IBC, instead of solving the problems, has in fact played havoc in destroying national wealth for the benefit of unscrupulous elements. The revamped IBC should work with transparency and must take care of the interest of the beleaguered minority shareholders in such a way that their investment is protected. Justice should not only prevail, it should seem so too. Justice is certainly at stake. Whether the slogan "Modi hai to mumkin hai," meaning it's possible if Modi is there, holds any meaning, is certainly under test.